And it doesn't take a lot to fire up Mike. You know, you put him in a situation like this and it's all over. Real high-intensity guy. When he gets it going, he's a lot of fun to watch.
Opening day is underway. The 2003-2004 PBA season here on ESPN. And a perfect shot from Machuga to get things going. From Titusville, Florida. Another hard thrower. Jason-Hurd. Not what he wanted to start things off.
And something that we didn't see a whole lot of this week, when you got the ball to the edge, the ball bounced back from there. Okay. That ball got a little bit too far to the right and wiggled down the lane.
Talked to Jason just a few moments ago before the start of this big show for him. Seemed very focused. Trying to pick up his spare and does. He covers well on lane 24. Our Baby Ruth real deal matchup. Randy Hurd, Machuga head-to-head in the wildcard match.
Yeah, two things stick out to me here, Dave, Brian. One of them is the 5-pin the game higher average for Mike Machuga, and the other thing is a real high spare percentage.
On line 23. Crossing over, comes in high, and he leaves the 10-pin.
Well, the first one got to the edge and didn't hook, so watch what's going to happen here. This one's not even going to get close. That one was just left a third arrow, and this week there was no help in the center part of the lane. If you missed left, the ball went left.
And the spare ball picks it up. And a second consecutive mark for Jason-Hurd. Back to Machuga. Strike here puts him up 11 pins early. Exactly the kind of start Mike would want. They call him Choose. Third year on tour.
Loves to fish, loves to play golf, and worked really hard in the offseason on his game.
Perfect ball.
And early on, Dave Ryan, it looks like if you can go a little bit straighter, it's going to work out a lot better for you. Jason-Hurd's reaction doesn't look very good. But Mike Machuga goes a little bit straighter, a little more direct, and he's got a double.
New rule this year on the PBA Tour. Highest qualifier who lost in the round of 8. We knew, because he was second to Brian Voss in qualifying after the 18 qualifying games, that he in fact would be the wild card when the final 8 was determined. He had the highest qualifying scores, and he's had a great start here with 3 straight strikes.
Yeah, and David puts more emphasis on qualifying, and it rewards consistency. Last year, if you were the #1 seed, it really didn't mean anything. This year, it could be a trip to the wild card match. And that's how Mike Machuga got here.
A lot of revs from Jason-Hurd, and he caught the pocket nicely. First strike of the day for him. Lives on the Space Coast of Florida. Not far from Orlando. On the Atlantic coast, not far from you.
You know, some days I kind of feel like I'm from the Space Coast.
Spoke of Machuga being a fisherman. Same for Jason-Hurd. Really into it. As are you. Deep sea variety. Strike here, and he's down 11, and he can't manage it.
You know, the one thing that I remember from last season about Jason-Hurd, watching him on television, is it just never looked like he had a very good ball reaction on TV day. And it looks like that's kind of happening now. Finally got 2 balls to the pocket. That one was just a little bit high, leaving the 4-pin.
Single pin conversion numbers for Hurd. 4-pin, had to hurry and does.
Jason is one of the few players that hooks it at spares, with the exception of his 10 pins. He feels more comfortable throwing the big hook, and you know what? He's pretty successful at it.
Four-bagger here from Machuga gives him a 31-pin lead early. He would be in the driver's seat for sure. Let's look lane side at it.
In talking with Mike this week, he really talked about the experiences and the conversations that he's had with Norm Duke and Brian Voss. The three of them, they're kind of like the three amigos. They hang out a lot. And last year, Mike Machuga just listened. This year, he applied it.
Near perfect this week. Single pin conversion numbers. Trying to pick up the 4 here. Unlike Jason-Hurd, using the spare ball right at it with no hook. The last couple of weeks, Machuga telling us 6 to 12 hours a day practicing. Very hard for this very moment. And what a great opportunity for the 5 bowlers here to earn the exemption already for next year. An incredible start for the winner today.
Yeah, and don't kid yourself. It's been on every player's mind. Some will tell you, well, it's in the back of my mind. Some players tell you that, yeah, I thought about it all week long, a month before we came out on tour, right when we heard about it. But I guarantee everybody's thinking about it.
Strike streak over, but he finds the pocket again. Mike's 5th frame, 4 to 5 strikes ready.
Excuse me, Dave. Mike Machuga is going at a 279 pace. He's got a 20-pin lead, and this is just a beautiful shot. I actually crossed with Mike in the 2nd round of qualifying, and he did a lot of that.
Back to Jason-Hurd. Double wood. 2 in the 9. Not easy to pick up.
Well, you know, again, it's that same look. He gets the ball down the lane, and instead of going left, it just wiggles. It's not finding enough friction, and I'm not sure if it's a bad ball choice or if it's just a bad shot out of his hand.
.8 made that, and he leaves it. So an open frame for Hurd on lane 24. And the way Machuga has been bowling, that could be very damaging.
Well, that ball just never got to the 2-8. You know, when you have this much friction, you want to get the ball to hook into the 2-8. And for Jason-Hurd to not cover that spare by the ball hooking into it is very rare. That's a good one.
He knew it on release. Second strike of this wild card match for Jason-Hurd. Machuga has a big lead. When we return, a chance for him to take a 43-pin lead with a strike. Today's exclusive live coverage of the PBA's opening day Banquet Open is brought to you by Banquet. Bank on Banquet. By Dexter, bowling, golf, and casual. We have the right shoe for you. And by the official candy bar of the PBA, Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal. Heartland of America Park, just about 15 minutes from where we are on Route I-80. Very close to Omaha, Nebraska, and Mike Machuga could start this wild card match with Jason-Hurd. So we talked earlier, Randy, about the drama and the pressure the bowlers like yourself will be facing all year long. New rules next year, exempt field, a lot of pressure.
All exempt field. You know, this week was a 128-man field. Next year, the fields will be limited to the top 64. And there are only a couple of ways for you to get there. The top 50 point getters from this year, plus any winners, will be plugged into the top 50 spots. The other 14 remaining spots will be filled through basically a Q school and other weekly exemptions.
Early, we're